Culture is a curious thing. The word culture is broadly defined as the customs, art, food, and social and spiritual practices of any given country, region, or ethnic group. But beyond that, culture is one of the most interesting things about life as a human being. Depending on where you happen to come from, your clothes, your expressions, your religious beliefs, your tastes in music and cuisine are all likely a collective reflection of those who came before you. Observing these fascinating differences is also one of the most rewarding aspects of travel. Our abilities to understand and empathize with others, even those deeply different than ourselves, grows beyond measure with each new place that we go. Now, that's not to say that cultural divisions and boundaries have never caused some difficulties. More than a few conflicts have been spurned by differing ideologies in the past. But in my recent travels, I found something quite inspiring. A place where true cultural diversity and tolerance isn't just prevalent, it's been a fact of daily life for over 100 years. It's a place where social acceptance is an act as fundamental as any other. This place has a name, and that name is Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, often simply referred to as KL, is one of my absolute favorite places I've ever been, and I don't say that lightly. This city is many things. Fun, modern, diverse, beautiful, inspiring, delicious. These words all come to mind. As far as big international cities go, it's quite a young settlement, having been officially founded by Chinese tin miners in the middle of the 19th century. However, what started as a simple village quickly merged with surrounding native settlements into a major hub of trade and culture. Today, KL is an amazingly diverse place. Primarily inhabited by peoples of Chinese, Indian, and indigenous Malay heritage, there is a sense of cultural harmony here that I've seldom seen in the wider world. The locals are deeply friendly and welcoming, and this pervasive feeling of acceptance makes this place incredibly inviting for travelers of any color or creed. It's not surprising that Kuala Lumpur has become the 10th most visited city on Earth. Wandering the streets of KL is like touring the greatest hits of Asia. Buddhist temples sit just up the block from Hindu shrines, with stunning mosques just around the corner. The hyper-modern downtown area is ringed with funky, laid-back neighborhoods displaying every conceivable type of architecture. It's an absolute feast for the eyes. Traditional Chinese, British colonial, and Western-style structures all sing together in aesthetic harmony. There's so much to see and do in this city, but in typical nomadic bard fashion, I always start with a thorough strolling. And if you're looking for guidance on a fun and easy walking tour of Old KL, get your notepad ready. Start at the mouth of Chinatown on Jalan Petaling and make your way through the bustling marketplace. It's usually up and running by mid-morning and only gets more crazy and fun as the day wears on. There's tons of street food, gadgets, knickknacks, and other curiosities on offer here, so take your time if you intend on shopping. Just a block away is Guan Di, a traditional Chinese temple that sits almost directly across from Sri Maha Mariamman, a stunning Hindu shrine. Remember what I said about cultural diversity? Yeah, I wasn't kidding. From there, it's just a short jaunt down to the Kasturi Walk, another outdoor marketplace that sits next to the Central Market. This is one of KL's coolest shopping destinations. While its layout may look like just any other mall, inside you'll find hundreds of local artisans selling all manner of cool trinkets. There's also a fantastic hawker center upstairs that's an excellent place to grab some cheap and delicious local eats. Once you've had your sampling of snacks and souvenirs, stroll down through Old Market Square to see the River of Life, a confluential joining of the Klang and Gumpak rivers. Sitting squarely in the middle is the famous Masjid Jamek Mosque, a Moorish-style center for Islamic worship. Breathe in, relax, and take in the sights of the city. While I would never claim that this is a definitive walking tour of KL, it's a great way to spend a day absorbing these stunning cultural threads that weave their way through this unique city. Now, like any other major travel destination, Kuala Lumpur has its fair share of local landmarks. Chief among them are the Petronas Towers, which stand gleaming as the tallest twin towers in the world. And while visiting them is something I definitely recommend, just a short cab ride to the north lies a much more spiritual spot that's a must-see for any traveler. Set in a stunning range of limestone hills, the Batu Caves are a series of intricate Hindu shrines laid out through a spectacular natural cave system. At the base of the caves, a series of smaller shrines surround a courtyard helmed by the world's largest statue of Lord Murugan, the Hindu god of war. Also gracing the courtyard is an alarming amount of pigeons, which can be fed with birdseed from local vendors. Passing by the enormous golden statue brings you to the stairs. They look steep, and they are. Working your way carefully up the vibrantly colored steps, you'll brush shoulders with devotees and tourists alike. As you climb, you'll also find yourself accompanied by literal barrels of macaques. That is actually what a group of monkeys is called, seriously, a barrel. While these adorable guys look friendly and lovable, be warned, if you have food, they will find it, and they will steal it. No amount of fabric or plastic will stop them in their furious quest for your goodies, so leave anything edible back at the hotel. Once you reach the top, turn around for a stunning view out over the city, and then head into the caves to wander a number of beautiful shrines. The mixture of the intricate statues and structures set against the drooping stalactites and walls of the cave system make for an incredibly unique atmosphere. And while there's always many other visitors around, if you get here early, the crowds are manageable. It's an amazing place and absolutely a must-do on any trip to KL. Just be prepared for the hike back down. Now, as one might assume, there are many perks to having a diverse range of cultures all inhabiting one place, and chief among them is food. Listen up, kids. The food in Malaysia defies all description. I mean, I literally do not have words to describe how good it is. In KL, you will find Indian, Chinese, Thai, Indonesian, and Japanese cooking influences all colliding in a cacophony of culinary brilliance. I love Indian food, and if you ask those in the know what place might have Indian cuisine to rival that of the country itself, the response should be immediate: Kuala Lumpur. Our favorite spot was TG's Nasi Kandar, an unassuming street-side joint that offered up staggeringly delicious dishes by the dozens. Their butter chicken is a literal work of art. There's plenty of options for amazing traditional Chinese cuisine as well, of course, but besides these more recognizable cooking styles, the holy grail here is naturally Malaysian food. It truly defines fusion cuisine as a culinary term. And you can't talk about Malaysian eats without talking about the de facto national dish: mee. No, not me. Get out of here. Mee, literally translated as stir-fried noodles, and more specifically a dark and smoky dish known locally as mee goreng Melaka. I can't think of a more perfect plate of food. Chinese ingredients meet Thai cooking technique, accompanied by an Indonesian-style sauce and Indian spices. When you bring these titanic elements together into a single dish, truly magical things happen. I could honestly fawn for days about the quality of food we found in KL, but that would get boring. It's cheap, it's plentiful, and it's almost maddeningly delicious. Suffice to say, you'll just have to come here and try it for yourself. The only thing that I found a little frustrating during my time in Kuala Lumpur is the fact that I didn't allot myself nearly enough actual time to visit. Being honest, I only spent 2 days here. It's not at all that I had low expectations of the city, I just didn't expect to fall in love with it so hard and so fast. One could easily spend a week or more here, reveling in the vibe, the food, and the activities. But on my first day, I immediately regretted cutting myself so short. On my last night in town, I found myself wandering the streets of Bukit Bintang, the downtown and nightlife district. This is yet another amazing area of KL. I started by wandering down Jalan Alor, a hectic strip of street food and noodle houses, and worked my way around through the neighborhood. As I was reflecting on the fact that I really should have budgeted more time here, much more time, I noticed a row of police on motorcycles riding down the street. Before I could even react, KL decided to throw me one last curveball, as if taunting me, shouting indignantly that I needed to come back as soon as possible. Suddenly, out of absolute nowhere came a massive Chinese heritage parade. Lion dogs and mobile shrines appeared out of thin air, and war drums filled the streets with unexpected excitement. And in the midst of all this, did they close the actual street? No, they did not. Normal traffic was simply left to fight it out with the dancers and floats. No warning, no planning, just abrupt, hilarious chaos. They say that pictures are worth 1,000 words, so I'll just let the images do the talking here. In my research for this piece, I came upon something called the Rukun Negara. It's a creed that's recited in schools and institutions all over Malaysia, much like the Pledge of Allegiance is in the US. The fourth line reads as follows: "Our country, Malaysia, nurtures the ambitions of guaranteeing a liberal approach towards her rich and varied cultural traditions." This creed was written in the 1960s in response to the May incident, one of the only occurrences of cultural conflict in the city's history. And that sentence, to me, is a perfect summary of Kuala Lumpur. Here, there exists a harmony between cultures, between peoples, that I think everyone on Earth should take note of. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you believe. Keeping an intact sense of our individual traditions and heritage is important, but getting along, respecting one another, and learning to live together in harmony is so much more powerful in the modern age. It's a feeling of effortless coexistence that I think we can all learn from. Combine that with the incredible food, stunning architecture, and warmth of the people, KL may just be your perfect destination. It may just be mine, and I know that I can't wait to come back.